a disease so deadly that it has killed more than 1 billion people in just the last 2 centuries. A disease so widespread that nearly 1 of every 4 humans alive today carries its bacteria. A disease so feared that government health authorities once started stopping parents from kissing their own children. The name of this terrifying disease is tuberculosis. Every year, TB kills more than 1 million people around the world. Even today, over 2 billion people, that is a quarter of humanity, carry the TB bacteria in their bodies. Throughout human history, TB may have killed 1 in every 7 people who ever lived. TB's massive death toll and highly contagious nature make it one of the deadliest diseases humanity has ever known. But what exactly makes tuberculosis so different from most other diseases? TB is very unpredictable compared to other infectious diseases. For example, in illness like the common cold, flu, dengue, or COVID, symptoms usually appear within a few days of infection. But in case of TB, it can remain hidden inside a body for years or decades or even an entire lifetime without causing any symptoms at all. In some people, TB kills within a few months. In others, TB slowly destroys the body over many years. And in millions of cases, it never becomes active at all. TB is also unusual because it does not attack just one part of the body. For example, most diseases have a clear target: the liver, the lungs, the intestines, the muscles. But TB can affect almost anywhere: the brain, lungs, liver, kidneys, spine, bones, even the pancreas. And because of this, its symptoms can look completely different from person to person. Chronic cough, fever, fatigue, weight loss, severe pain, or even paralysis in some extreme cases. TB is ancient, perhaps more than 70,000 years old, making it far older than diseases like cholera or smallpox. Archaeologists have discovered the evidence of TB in ancient human skeletons and mummies, many of them showing the characteristic spinal deformities caused by the disease. In the 18th and 19th centuries, a pale face, thin and weak body, sunken eyes, and red cheeks, all common symptoms of TB, became associated with beauty, elegance, sophistication. The disease was sometimes even romanticized as a mark of genius. Why? Because some of the famous creative people like Frédéric Chopin, John Keats, among others, also suffered from TB. But that perception changed drastically in the year 1882. That year, German physician Robert Koch identified Mycobacterium tuberculosis, the bacteria responsible for the disease. For most of human history, TB was essentially a death sentence. Doctors could recognize its symptoms, but they had no reliable way to diagnose or cure it. That began to change in the early 20th century with the rise of modern medicine. Tools like laboratory testing and X-ray machines finally allowed doctors to diagnose TB inside the body. Then, in 1940s, scientists discovered streptomycin, the first effective drug against TB. And then, by the 1950s, even more powerful antibiotics had become available, turning TB from an almost certain killer into a treatable disease. While TB has been curable for more than half a century, it still kills nearly 1 million people every year. In the 21st century, TB is no longer just a medical problem. We do have the required science to diagnose it, treat it, and even prevent it. But its persistence is driven largely by human factors: poverty, overcrowding, malnutrition, weak healthcare systems, and unequal access to medicines. Experts estimate that eliminating TB globally would require $25 billion per year, which is actually a small fraction of what the world spends on unnecessary war and military budgets. A world without TB is indeed possible. The real question is whether we choose to make it happen.